Hey guys, so first off, before I start this review, I do feel like it's important that I mention that I was lucky enough to have chosen the PS5 as the platform that I reviewed Callisto Protocol on. I have no opinion on the Xbox or PC version because I never played them, but I can at least provide some insight as to what the game will be once they fix all of the issues that plagued striking distance upon release. And what a release, holy shit. Dan Schofield blamed it on a clerical error, but honestly, I think that's some bullshit. I think it was just a lack of optimization and foresight by the team, period. And I, as well as most of the public, are tired of these fucking broken ass games upon release that are finally finished like 3 to 6 months later. But like I said, I didn't have that issue with my experience. Thankfully, the game ran buttery smooth throughout my 12 to 14 hour runtime. So, with that being said, as with all reviews that I do, I still have not listened to any other reviewer's opinion on the game just to keep my take fresh, and I'm hoping in this case that it doesn't bite me in the ass because for all I know, they could have the same complaints as me with just a different score outcome. And I'm mainly looking at GameSpot's review in terms of score, but the industry as a whole just felt so overly negative towards this title that it's actually unreal to me. Believe me, I have played some bad games. Some of the games this year I've played, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Callisto Protocol is not that game. In fact, I'd argue it's an amazing game with some serious missteps that bring it down to simply a good game that I'd absolutely recommend. So, thanks for indulging me with that long intro. Let's get to it. The year is 2320. You are Jacob Lee on a set to be last shipment to Callisto, a supermax prison on one of the moons of Jupiter, when you're forced to a crash landing after being boarded by the terrorist group The Outer Way. Upon being recovered from the crash site from the on-shift guards, you are promptly put into cuffs for no reason at all and thrown into the prison as an inmate by order of the warden. Talk about a clerical error. Now, I'm not going to give you the rundown of every aspect of the story. That's something I think you should experience for yourself, but that's the basis of what you can expect for the premise of this fucked up adventure. In my opinion, it works out perfectly. The only setting, in my opinion, better than a prison for a horror game is an insane asylum, straight up. I love the little details throughout the game, like the weapon upgrade system being from the perspective of the abusive prison guards, or how when you need to get access to a locked wing of the prison, you have to cut the keycard out of the neck of one of their bodies. But ultimately, I feel like the team at striking distance never fully explored their environment in the way that I would have wanted for a horror game. I wanted crazy fucking supermax inmates sprinkled throughout trying to sabotage my attempts at escape. Instead, you really only get a prison backdrop, and that kind of sucks. But for what it's worth, from beginning to end, regardless of what I wish the narrative did, it still had me so invested. The voice acting in this game is fucking incredible. Josh Duhamel is an excellent actor, and all of the supporting cast, though very few, were awesome in their roles and believable. And they sold the story that was given to them so well. Accompany the phenomenal voice work with some of the best graphics I've seen in a video game, period. With the use of Unreal Engine 5, and you have a truly tense, grounded, and dark spiritual successor to Dead Space that a year ago was only a pipe dream, and I loved every second of it.
Oh! Yeah!
Next thing I wanted to talk about that I know has had a lot of debate is the combat system. Now, I'm a sucker for when developers go all in on redesigning game elements that we take for granted. And I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I love the combat system in Callisto, and I'm praying for some type of evolution of it in the future. While mechanically and on paper, I do agree that the concept of pushing your stick slightly to the left or right in order to dodge incoming attacks sounds like an utter snooze fest, In practice, the spectacle of it all mixed with the stellar gunplay and the GRP glove, as well as the constant array of environmental hazards, made every combat scenario, when it went right, feel like something straight out of an action movie. I don't know about you, but I never got once tired of it. The gore, the brutality, the crunching impact of it all was done so well, I easily was able to ignore the few times when the camera became too cumbersome for the action it wanted me to perform on screen. Where the combat falls apart, though, is undeniably in the boss fights. There's nothing unique about the combat scenarios from the main game. Instead, they're just a beefed up regular enemy, and the encounters, unfortunately, just become a game of ring around the rosy while you unload clip after clip into the boss. It's simply not good gameplay. They are absolutely way too one note to be fun. These experiences could have been dramatically improved if there was something added as a layer to the fight. And it could have been something as easy as utilizing some type of tool in the environment, like a death trap or a hold breach. Literally anything other than what we got. At the end of the day, when it comes to horror games especially, one man's trash is another man's treasure. This has been proven time and time again with games such as Evil Within and Alien Isolation. I very much believe that Callisto Protocol will fall into this category. While yes, it has some problems, I think as a whole the package respected your time and provided the player with an experience in a world that felt utterly its own. And for that, it's an 8 out of 10, take it or leave it. Also, for those of you who have beaten the game, what direction would you want to see the DLC go in? Do you think that Jacob is still alive? Do you think we'll be able to play as Danny in a rescue mission type scenario? Let me know what you think below. As always, thanks for watching.